They're not good enough to say we're not going to put a prospect on our roster. We're not going to put a young player on the roster because of service time at the start of the year. I'm sorry. You're just not.
Yeah.
If you're not going to properly build your roster, well, then you're going to have to pay a price for that somewhere, some way. And this is the way it should work, by the way. If you have a young player who is going to make your team better, the conversation about service time shouldn't happen. It's been a long-standing problem in the sport. It really is.
The MLB has even gone with the PPI pick now. If you win Rookie of the Year, you get a pick after the first round. That's kind of negated a lot of it. The only thing that ruins that is if Campbell signs an extension before opening day.
Service time issues are problematic. It's part of it's a real flaw in the sport, quite frankly. But anyway, that's what he's going with. And Alex Cora has more on what's been going on here at spring training these last few days.
I play with guys that were very thoughtful on what they wanted to say and their opinions. And I don't know, I played with Kurt, right? And he was very thoughtful and very say his thing, right? I don't know. It just, people will express what they feel. Some people are going to agree. Some other people are not going to agree. Some people are going to like it. Others are not going to like it. At the end, we like the first baseman. He's going to play, and he's going to hit.
This is brutal. I mean, he just kicked the snot out of Triston Casas without even saying his name. And that was part of the dig. The first baseman.
It's Belichick. It's Belichickian with Welker, the player. It's a dirty play by the player.
Also,
it's like we have to separate the guy from the comments.
He's the more you watch it, like you go back and you watch a video of Casas standing with his hair down and like he's looking around, he's looking at each reporter and like, well, he should play second and he should play. Who the F are you to stand there in a dugout when your manager's going to have to talk at some point and hear your comments about where you think people should play? And he brings up Curt Schilling. Schilling has thoughts on other things outside of baseball, obviously. Curt Schilling never stood there and told you who should play second or third. I mean, refresh my memory if that happened. That's a bad comparison. He's trying to take and deflect it a little bit. It's a shame Cora has to deal with this guy.
Don't you think he used Curt Schilling as an example for a reason? What he's saying is
Curt knows how to.
Curt Schilling is a guy who has opinions on everything, yet he wouldn't on baseball.
On baseball, he wouldn't. Yes,
speak
I know what you're saying.
Out of line on things like who should be playing and who should be on the roster. That even a guy like Curt Schilling wouldn't do what Triston Casas.
That's what I thought.
That's what he's saying.
That's it. Okay, if you put it in better words.
That's how he's
exactly.
He's going, guys. I played with Curt Schilling, and Curt Schilling wouldn't have done that.
Right.
That's what he's saying.
Right.
And so, I think it's a pretty big, inappropriate, by the way, dig at this player. He won't even say his name in the comments. He indicates how he played with a lot of guys who were thoughtful in the things that they said and how this was completely thoughtless.
Right.
Is what this was.
Fans love Schilling. You cheered for Schilling.
And he's saying, I played with Curt Schilling. I know what it is to play with guys who have opinions on everything.
Right.
And you would not have heard Curt Schilling undermine Terry Francona that way. He didn't do that.
Right.
And Schilling would talk about anything to do with the team. But he never would tell you who should be on the roster.
Look at this dillweed.
At the end, we like the first baseman. He's going to play, and he's going to hit.
He's going to play, and he's going to hit. We hope.
So let's just put up with the rest of it.
They should put. If you're Corey, you should go down to the equipment guys. Like, hey, put first baseman on his back. Take his name off. Put first baseman on it.
He's basically saying, I don't have to like the guy, but I do need the player.
Yeah.
That's how I would sum that up.
Ugh. Is Casas aware of how unliked he is?
No,
Here?
he's
clearly not.
He's
No.
no awareness, no self-awareness.
This all came after, too. Like, if you were watching Cora and then Casas speak, Cora goes, well, we're going to let him face lefties and righties this year, this kind of vote of confidence, and then this happens right afterwards, too.
Well, don't you think Cora was one of the driving forces in trying to move Casas this offseason?
Yes.
And then to be there at spring training and not even like 72 hours in have to deal with this? You're going to be like, are you effing kidding me?
To what Beetle said, we have to deal with the first baseman. For now.
I think it's part of the reason they were hesitant to even talk over things with Raffy, because they were hoping they were going to match up on that Casas deal, and it wasn't going to be moving Devers to DH. It was going to be moving Devers to first base, and that didn't work out for him. Breslow wasn't willing to, basically lose a deal or feel like he didn't get proper value.
I'd lose the deal on him.
Yeah.
I would.
That was the
same
Luis
way it's
Castillo
Cutting
trade.
the fat. Cutting the fat.
Or compare it to the deal that they made when they moved on from what's his name? The outfielder there. The guy with the camera.
Verdugo.
Thank you. Doogie.
I'm like, what camera? Oh, that camera.
Doogie.
Okay.
The guy with the camera.
Bad camera.
Cell phone.
Yeah.
Cell phone.
Yeah. They didn't try to win the deal when they
Right.
moved on from him. Did they?
No, they wanted it out.
They wanted out. They wanted to move on from him. They didn't care. They weren't concerned with winning the deal. The problem is this is a younger player. This is a guy with more potential. And so they're way more concerned about not losing the deal. I'd lose the deal.
It's also not work ethic issues. It's just more personality issues and being self-aware.
No, maybe it is work ethic issues too, because maybe part of the problems you're in is because you have lack of work ethic.
If you go back and you read the feature pieces on him, Jen McCaffrey had it last year. He's there later than anyone. He's there to 1 a.m. They have to beg him to leave the ballpark at night.
Yeah,
he is a baseball rat. Doesn't mean he's a genius in front of the mic.
Great. You ever done the statistical comparison of Bobby Dahlbeck versus Triston Casas, their first 3 years in the majors?
100%.
Yeah. You know who's got better numbers?
Dahlbeck.
Bobby Dahlbeck.
Oh, my God.
Those numbers are extremely deceiving.
Here we go.
Bobby Dahlbeck.
Why are they deceiving?
Casas, over 3 years, 42 home runs. Dahlbeck, 45. RBI, 133 for Dahlbeck, 109 for Casas. Runs, 105 for Casas, 103 for Dahlbeck.
That's so deceiving, though.
Plate appearances, kind of similar. 840 for Casas, 898 for Dahlbeck. Dahlbeck had 10 more hits. He had 11 more extra base hits and had 32 more total bases.
Just for reference, Bobby Dahlbeck at 25, Triston Casas has not even reached that age. That was how old Bobby Dahlbeck was when he debuted.
All right.
You also look at Bobby Dahlbeck, his best offensive season that was anything close to a year. It was a 107 OPS plus. That was at age 26. Triston Casas is a 23-year-old rookie, 129 OPS plus, 22% better as a hitter overall that season, 2 years younger as a rookie.
I told you in the first 2 months of this kid, I'm like, this guy's overrated. Overrated prospect.
You think he's Bobby Dahlbeck?
No.
Come on, please.
No, I don't think
that's
he's
just being.
No, I'm just being funny because I know it'll irritate you, quite frankly, because you love Triston Casas, the player.
No, it's he wants to love the player and he knows he can't.
I know.
Right,
I love Casas. I never defended what he did yesterday. I knew immediately as it was happening.
No,
it
you
was gonna
love
be a
Casas?
disaster.
No,
I think he's that special of a hitter. I do. I believe he's a Joey Votto type hitter.
I don't believe he's special, and I never have. So I'm remarkably consistent on this, and so far I've been proven right. He has not been special. He hasn't. Is there the potential for him to be a lot better than what he's been? Yeah, I admit that, of course. But I think people have jumped the gun on this prospect, and we're so excited for this player, and they've yet to be proven right. And the thing that the team and the front office is clinging to is they still think he's going to turn into that guy for them. And I would say, I don't care if he does somewhere else. I don't think you win with a guy like this. I don't think he ever grows out of this. Certain mindset, certain attitude that is required to win at the highest level, and you're never going to get there with this guy if he's one of your leaders. I'm sorry, you're not. You're just not. So I don't care if you lose a deal and you move on from him and he flourishes somewhere else. I don't care. It won't bother me. I wouldn't second guess it. Because he's never going to be a centerpiece on a team that wins anywhere else either. He might put up great numbers. He might hit the ball 1,000,000 miles a year. I just don't care. I don't care for the guy.
They can't survive right now, though. The lineup isn't good enough if you take him out of it and don't replace him.
I know, but I'm telling you, the manager doesn't want him there either.
They have the pathway, though. Even if you don't like Triston Casas, you should be rooting crazy for him to go off this year, and then they go get Vlad Guerrero Jr. That's the best case scenario for the organization.
You're still thinking that they would actually do it. I love you for that. I do.
God
You
bless
think that they would spend the money to get Vlad Guerrero Jr.
I think he fits into the very rare long-term deals they do.
I hope you're right. I want to be proven wrong.
I don't want him. Personally, in my world, I want Triston Casas as my first baseman.
So you'd rather have Triston Casas over Vlad Guerrero Jr.?
Right now, I need Vlad Guerrero. He's only had that MVP season in 2021 and 2024. That 2021 season, he played in a AAA ballpark. 2 years ago, Casas was a better player as a rookie. I think right now, when you factor in, you're going to have to give him $450 million. That is a big part of having Triston Casas. Team control for 4 years, cheap. I would try to work that out.
So your answer is yes.
Right now, yes. I think they're on a similar plane when you equal out value.
All right. I don't. I think Vlad Guerrero Jr. is a better player.
He needs to be consistent. Don't be the guy who back-to-back years disappointed in 2022 and 2023.
If you like that clip, check out more videos from Zolak and Bertrand here. For more Red Sox analysis and opinion, hit this playlist. And for all the latest from the Sports Hub, download the app at 985thesportshub.com.